Hey ya! Today's video is going to be my August wrap-up and September to be read video. So let's start with the books that I read this month. I didn't actually get a lot of books read, but you know, better a few than none, right? So the very first one is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I don't know what it is, but Maggie Stiefvater writes better books every time. After reading the Scorpio Races, I thought I couldn't read a better book by her that would be hard to outdo herself, but this was amazing. I don't know. I absolutely love the Scorpio Races. It's so different from books out there, but this is too. It's so good. It has all these things I love in them. It has mystery, it has magic, it has all these supernatural little elements. It was so good. And this cover, the cover artist, wow, so good. The second book I read is The Count of Monte Cristo Part 1. I don't know if I actually mentioned this, but I read this, or most of it, last year, and I had 100 pages or so left to read, and I never got around to reading them, so I decided to do that this month. And yeah, out of the 700 pages, I had 100 left, and I finally managed to finish it. And now I have to go through the same thing for part 2. It's a huge novel. But it was good. There was some descriptions, some parts were a little slow. I actually really enjoyed it, so I'm waiting till I have a lot of time on my hands to start book 2. The third book I read is The Hit by Melvin Burgess, and I was slightly disappointed by this. Some things I knew were just going to happen, some things I guessed almost from the beginning. But it was a fairly good concept. I liked the ideas, really. It's just the way the novel was executed, the way it ended. Some of it I was a bit disappointed about. I mean, I would have loved to see a bit more at the end. But otherwise, it was good. I might actually do a full review on that, so check out. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Now, before I go on to showing you which 2 books I absolutely want to read in September before I start classes again, is tell you about the book I'm reading now, which is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I'm not even halfway through this yet, but it's really good so far. I absolutely love Oscar Wilde's writing. This year I read The Importance of Being Earnest with one of my lit classes, and I really liked it. It was really funny. I loved the writing style, and I decided, well, why not read his only novel? And it's so good. The mediums are so different, but his descriptions they're not too long, but they're really beautiful. Like, some of these scenes I can actually visualize myself in. And of course his humor is in there. Yeah, so far I'm really liking it. And I can't wait to finish it so I can watch the movie with Ben Barnes. Yes. Now on to the books I will be reading in September. I usually try to keep away from to be read lists because I just deviate from them. But here I have 2 exceptions. So without further ado, the first book is The Blind Assassin by Margaret Atwood. And the reason is simply because in a few days, on the 5th of September, I will be seeing Margaret Atwood in person. So that's pretty exciting. I mean, she's not just any author, she's Margaret Atwood. A few years back for my IB diploma, I had to study one short story collection and 1 novel by her. And although I wasn't a huge fan of her short stories, some of them were really good, but I didn't love them. It was weird. I don't hate them. They were really well written. I liked the concept, but let's just say they're a bit disturbing. So I don't know how to describe it properly. In that sense, she's a great author. But I loved Alias Grace, though. That novel, if you haven't read it, just do so, because it was great. I absolutely loved it. So I had 1 more novel of hers lying around, and that is The Blind Assassin, and it really looks good. And I felt like, since I'm seeing the author, maybe I should read another of her works. It's not her newest, of course, but you know, it's still her work and it still looks great, really great. And then the second book I'm going to read in September is Little Brick. Can you guys guess what it is? Maybe? A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin, which is the first book in the Song of Ice and Fire series. I've actually seen the first season of the TV adaptation and I really liked it, although I had to watch the first episode, well, the first scene of the first episode a couple of, twice, yeah, a couple of times to get into it. I don't like scary movies. I don't like horror and scary movies. And when I saw the first scene, I'm like, oh gosh, I should read the book before watching the series. But then I went to visit a friend and she and I watched the first season together and it turns out it was amazing. And I had the first 3 books sitting at home, I still do, and I have been keeping myself from watching the rest of the series so that I read the books before watching them. So yes, this month's goal is to finish one of these little bricks and then probably rewatch season 1 and then read the second book, watch season 2, read the third book, and watch season 3 and so on. This little break. That is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you read any of these books, please let me know in the comments below whether you enjoyed them, what you thought of them, without giving away spoilers, of course. Yes, I will also be posting more reviews. I haven't been doing a lot of that. I will also be posting more tags. I just haven't had much time this year at all. I've had a crazy schedule and I hope things get better this year. Otherwise, I will try to plan more regularly a time where I'll film, so I will at least have a minimum amount of videos out every month. Because I really enjoy filming, it's just I still need to find a way to include it into my life schedule regularly. So please forgive me for that. And that is all I have for you guys today. I will be leaving my usual links down below, including my vlog channel, because I do vlog from time to time. I think I've mentioned this before. And yeah, so I will be seeing you very soon, and until next time, bye!